Reflections of the NBA's virtuoso artist Michael Jordan. A year ago, he led the Chicago Basketball Symphony to their first NBA championship. The Bulls and Jordan earning the treasured big prize. But winning was then. To repeat is now.
If we don't win a championship this year, the season's a failure.
So Jordan and the Bulls were challenged to ascend to the heights again. And led by Michael, the Bulls won a team record 67 games, including a final slam of rival Detroit. Now the Bulls' first-round playoff focus is on Kevin Loughery's youthful Miami Heat. And in Game 1 Friday, Jordan conducted his own recital. 46 points for the man who plays at new walk-on air heights. Jordan has sent an early playoff reminder. In the NBA, there's no one quite like Mike.
Here's what we want. Give him the ball to the backcourt. Jordan. Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1992 NBA playoffs. Today, it's the Miami Heat versus the Chicago Bulls.
The city with broad shoulders on Lake Michigan continues to shiver here in late April. 40-degree temperatures, a drizzly Sunday, but indoors. Chicago Stadium, young Miami will try to heat it up against the world champion Chicago Bulls. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Enberg with Earvin Magic Johnson, who won 5 NBA championships with the Lakers. Only Kareem played in more playoff games, 186 for Magic Johnson. But this is his first as an announcer of the playoffs. I got some experience on you there. Can you relate to that?
Well, playing in the basketball games is easier. This is harder for me, but I'm having fun.
You know, even the lexicon of the game today involves his nickname, the Magic Number. And for an NBA championship, the magic number at the start is 15. Last year, the Bulls, 15-2. They lost only 2 to Philly and to the Lakers, and both of those defeats were by only a basket. And one of the main reasons they've got the big guy, Michael Jordan. He scores 46. How does Miami slow him down, much less stop him?
Well, one man cannot stop Michael Jordan. What they have to do is a team collective effort. And on Friday night, they did not do that. Here we show Michael Jordan ISO on the side. Now he's going to spin and go baseline. Their center, Alan Auld, has his back turned. Grant is supposed to come over, cut off the baseline, but he doesn't get there. And what happens? Michael goes in for the slam dunk. If Miami's going to have a chance, which is a slim chance, to even be in this game, they must control and contain Michael Jordan.
Is Jordan good for another 40-point game?
I don't think he's going to score 40. I think his teammates are going to get more involved today, and it's going to be an easy game for him.
The crowd of 18,000 at Chicago Stadium settling in. The players are ready, the Heat and the Bulls. And before today's game, we listened as Chicago went through their pregame ritual.
It's not through. It's duplicate. Say it loud, baby. Intimidation. Come on, man. What time is it?
Welcome to Chicago Stadium, and when you're world champions, you get a major league introduction. Here's public address announcer Ray Clay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Chicago Bulls welcome the world's greatest fans to the Chicago Stadium. Today's Game 2 in the first round of the NBA playoffs is between the Miami Heat and your Chicago Bulls. And now for this afternoon's lineup. First for the visiting Miami Heat. At forward from Eastern Michigan, 6'9", Grant Long. A 6'8" forward from Michigan, Glenn Rice. At center, 6'11" from Syracuse, Ronnie Cycli. At one guard from UC Santa Barbara, 6'6", Brian Shaw. At the other guard, 6'8", from Michigan State, Steve Smith. The Miami Heat are coached by Kevin Lockery. Assisted by Alvin Gentry and Bob Stack. The trainer is Ron Culp.
Breathtaking introductions. Miami's top scorer, Glenn Rice, carrying 22 points plus, is not 100% with a report. Let's go to Joel Myers.
Well, Dick, you're right. The Heat's leading scorer is playing in pain. He's going to be operating with his toe pad today and plenty of tape. Lost the big toenail on his right foot. So Glenn Rice is going to see plenty of tape. Now, he told me just a few minutes ago that he's not all that uncomfortable at the offensive end. It hurts, though, at the defensive end. And the big pain is Scottie Pippen. That's who he's got to try to defend this afternoon against Chicago. Dick?
All right, Joel, there's Scottie Pippen, part of the well-experienced playoff Bulls. Look at the right side. Cartwright, Jordan, Paxson, Grant, Pippen, all with 60 or more playoff games, a team total of 625, while Miami, the youngest in the Sweet 16 of these NBA playoffs. Only Brian Shaw with some experience with the Celtics. Those ones represent the one game of this series on Friday night when Miami succumbed to a 113-94 charge of the Bulls, and the rampaging Bull himself, Michael Jordan, with 46. They're part of the tradition, the rosin dust into the face of Red Kerr, the announcer with the Bulls, a former head coach here in Chicago, and we're set to go.
Boy, this is exciting. Miami Heat must just feel so good in terms of just being here and getting this experience. As we talked to them yesterday, most of the players were just saying the excitement of it all, just being here in this playoff game, is great for them.
Cycli goes against Cartwright. Game 2. And the Heat in the black uniform, Steve Smith, the rookie from Michigan State. Jordan on him. And there's a steal by Pippen. Pippen had only 11 in game 1. He said, I'm not going to wait around. I'm going to get mine early.
Well, he just wanted everybody to know it's not just Michael Jordan's show. He wants to get into the act himself.
Brian Shaw, who scored early and often in game 1 when Miami led at the end of the first quarter by 3. Here's Paxson.
Jordan inside to Cartwright. 9 on the clock. Horace Grant. And the Bulls lead 4-0. As their role player, Horace Grant gets an early 2.
Well, that time they ran the triangle play, cut 2 cutters through, and got a cross pick for Horace, who came in the middle for the jump shot.
Tex Winters triangle offense. Glenn Rice rebounded by Grant, his second. Paxson brings it in with a 4-0 lead. Jordan with Brian. No, it's Smith on him today. Cartwright over Cycli. Rebound Long. Rice on the run to Cycli. Oh, did Jordan go flying by? Cycli wise enough to be patient.
Good pass by Rice that time. He saw that Cycli was by himself up under the basket and gave it to him for the easy dunk shot.
Now Brian Shaw and Michael Jordan. Jordan's first shot. Rebounded by Shaw. The former Celtic brings it in to Cycli on the run. Good break by the Miami Heat.
They're doing the right thing here. They're making Cartwright get up and down the court. He cannot run with Cycli, and he gets another easy 2 on the layup.
Cycli and Cartwright figure to be more physical in this match. Grant is short, and a foul against Chicago. Horace Grant pushing off on Grant Long.
Here up under the basket is Cycli. Glenn Rice gave him an easy basket with the dunk shot there for a good pass by Rice, because he looked and saw that he was by himself and he made the pass. Unselfish basketball.
Grant Long from Eastern Michigan, and he draws the second foul from Horace Grant. Now they're going to say Jordan reaching in on the backside. Jordan's first. At the line, Grant Long, 6'9", from Eastern Michigan. He was the Mid-American Conference Player of the Year as a senior in '88, edging out Central Michigan's Dan Marley. Marley now starring with the Phoenix Suns.
We go one. Grant.
Improving every year, Long. And with a 14.8 average this year, also led the team in steals and shooting percentage, just under 50%. And he gives the Heat their first lead at 6-4.
They're going to a trap right here.
Right up, Brian.
Jordan around Rice.
Oh, boy. I tell you, went baseline. Double clutch, came up on the other side. Beautiful, beautiful shot by Michael Jordan.
And again, the Heat not putting a lot of body on Michael. Smith doesn't get the roll. Cartwright picks it off. Here comes Pippen and the Bulls, 3-on-3. Wow! Horace Grant over the top of 2 Heat players to get his 4th point.
Well, that was because of the jump shot by Michael. Everybody was looking at Michael. Horace just trailed that break and tipped it in.
Long around Cartwright.
Was that a Michael Jordan play? Oh, man, nice move by Long there. He got Cartwright in the air and just went right around him.
Tied at 8. Each team hitting half their shots. Cartwright's first attempt. Rebound Long. Ronnie Cycli, the former Syracuse star, stolen by Pippen, his second. He finishes it and was fouled. Brian Shaw got him.
Well, here's Michael. He fakes like he's going over the top, and he goes baseline, hangs, and spins it off the glass, I tell you. And here's Grant say, okay, Michael, I can come back and show you a dunk of my own. Yes. Slams it in.
Come on, try to get more excited.
I love playoff basketball. This is the fun time of the year.
You could see Michael Jordan's eyes light up as well when you talked with him earlier before the game today. Playoff, and right away the big smile, and bright-eyed was Jordan.
Exactly. you know, he understands that the spotlight is on him, and he wants to take advantage of that.
4 minutes gone. Bulls by 2. Likely over Cartwright. Long with a good offensive rebound. One of the best in the league at that regard. And Jordan says, I'll take it myself. Here come the Bulls. Scottie Pippen. And Pippen from Central Arkansas.
It looked like Scottie wants to get more involved, and even all the other Bulls want to become more involved today.
Almost unwritten after Michael scored the 46 that he is going to involve the other players more today. Jordan with a steal. Here he comes. Whoa! Long denies. That's the first time they've been physical with Michael in the series. And with it a timeout, 6:49 left in the opening period.
Well, we talked about hard fouls, and you're about to see one right here. Michael makes a move on Long. He goes in and takes his arm down. And there he is, ended up on his seat. Here it comes again. Got him on the arm. He goes back, falls down, and takes a look at Grant Long and said, man.
He knew, though. He talked to you about it. He knew that was coming today, didn't he?
Right. He had talked about it. Miami Heat players, Brian Shaw had talked about it in terms of when Michael comes down there, we just can't let him walk in there for dunks and easy layups. We must make him pay the price and earn 2 at the free throw line.
Jordan has his 3rd point, and Chicago leads 13-8. The league's top scorer for the 6th consecutive year. He's just one behind Wilt's all-time record, and even better in playoff action.
Like we were saying earlier, he loves the playoffs. And his game just excels when the playoffs get here.
Paxson and Grant with a little backcourt pressure. That worked effectively in game 1. A couple of easy hoops for Chicago. Cartwright was back to knock it away. Paxson's first shot. Grant with another rebound. That's 5 rebounds for Horace Grant already. In the hole to Grant. He earned it, and Jordan gave him the kiss.
Yes. I can see now that Michael is really trying to get his teammates involved in this game early. He doesn't want to score 46. He wants those guys to get involved, take the load off himself, and put the pressure on his teammates.
Glenn Rice for 3. He was 2nd in the league in hitting threes at 155 during the course of the year. Jordan, that tongue wagging, he wanted to go. Pippen does. He has 8 already, and the Bulls now have opened a 10-point advantage.
Well, if Glenn Rice said that toe is bothering him on defense, it's showing right now because Scottie is taking advantage of him.
22nd timeout called by Kevin Lockery.
Here's Horace doing his thing on the offensive glass and hustling, saving the ball out to Paxson. And here, Michael feeds Horace. He's got great position down low in the paint. 5-footer, and it's good. Michael telling him, good shot. Horace saying, yeah, great pass. Give me some more of those passes.
His twin brother, of course, Harvey, with the Washington Bullets, had a big year. The first successful NBA twin tandem since Dick and Tom Van Arsdale starred with the Phoenix Suns.
Well, the Chicago Bulls are coming out very aggressive today. They want to make a statement here early in the first quarter to the Miami Heat.
Smith for 2. His shot won't fall. Pippen rebounds. Bulls by 10. And Jordan really does seem to be looking for others. He's not trying to create something for himself. Pippen has it rejected out of bounds. Knocked away by Glenn Rice. 8 seconds on the shot clock. 46-year-old Phil Jackson, who has improved the Bulls record in each of his 3 seasons.
Miami personal foul. 41.
Rice with his first.
The team's third.
Jackson's first year, Phil Jackson here. The Bulls won 55, then 61 last year, and the NBA high by 10, 67 this season.
Oh! That triangle play. Bill dumped it off to Michael, and he slammed it. I tell you, the Bulls are ready today. You can sense that early.
Well, Miami 3 for 11 shooting, and now 3 for 12, 25%.
I like it.
They're going to call that a carryover against Jordan, a traveling call. In his juking, he was kind of rolling with it and running with the ball. A rare call.
A very rare call for Michael Jordan to get a traveling call called on him.
Smith moves inside and scores his first basket. Steve Smith. Where did he go to school anyway, that Steve Smith?
I think at school called Michigan State. He's a fellow Spartan.
He's almost 6'8", big guard, much like Magic Johnson, who restated the position. Great setup by Cartwright.
They are running that backdoor play. First time Michael, this time Scotty.
Pippen may get the 40 today. He's got 10 already in the first quarter. Rice. And Glenn Rice, his first hoop.
The Bulls are more aggressive, they're quicker, they're faster today, and that's why they're getting all these easy hoops.
Cycling out on Jordan. Jordan giving a little Muhammad Ali routine. And he gets it to fall. The basket to Jordan.
They're having problems with the clock again, as we did in game 1.
And one side not working, and the other has got 89 minutes and 84 seconds left in this game. Kevin Lockery, who was Jordan's coach in his rookie year here in Chicago.
Okay, here we go. We got Michael with the ball here. He's going to make the pass to Cartwright inside, and then he's going to cut baseline for the dunk. Here we go. Baseline, beautiful pass by Cartwright, and even a better dunk by Michael Jordan.
And Cartwright later did the same thing, setting up Pippen. I understand there's been a minor electrical fire over at the scores table, which accounts for the blackout now. Now the clocks above the baskets, the 24-second clock and game clock, and so as they try to make those repairs, we will take a commercial break. 3:33 left in the opening period.
I want a 10 and a 5. That's all.
Well, if you think the Chicago Bulls are hot right now, leading by 10 with 3:33 left in the first quarter of play, you wouldn't believe how hot this shot clock is. Sparks just flew, Dick Enberg. Sparks flying right now for the Chicago Bulls. They still have a malfunction with the shot clock. Guys at Caltech are too busy. I don't think we can call them. Dick?
Well, maybe it's a no-man for the Miami Heat. 3:37 to go in the first quarter. And speaking of the Miami Heat and their expansion year, they won 15 games. And then the progress as they have built their team through the draft has been rather evident. Won 3 more games in 90. You see the other expansion teams doing better. 24 games last year. While the other expansion teams incorporated drafts with trades and veteran players, Miami staying basically with youth, make the quantum leap into the playoffs this year. 38 wins for Kevin Lockery's team. And we talked with Lockery before the game, and he could not stop smiling. He knows he's in deep here against the Bulls, but you had a feeling that he's playing these 3 games, maybe 3, for the future.
Exactly. You have to give Billy Cunningham a lot of credit. He didn't try to get a quick fix with veterans and making trades. He stuck with the draft. And that enabled them to get to this point where they are. Now they must build from here. The crowd is going to go crazy in terms of when they come back to Miami, and they're going to give them a good show in Miami, and then they can take it from there.
What do they need to be even better? What does Lockery need for next year?
Well, Coach Lockery told us that he needs a big man inside, whether it's a power forward or a center, just a big, strong guy who can score. Yes, a stud. And then he also said that he needs a guy who can break the defense down, a one-on-one type player.
And he has lost that this year with Willie Burton, who has had an emotional problem, a depressive state, and is gaining treatment now. He said all of the Miami players and the organization sending along the best of Burton. And what Burton gave Miami is a man who can put the ball on the floor, create problems underneath, draw fouls. And I found that rather fascinating from the coach's point of view. He says, I need a guy that can create fouls because that gives me a chance to coach. What did he mean by that?
He meant by that gives him a chance now to trap you off the free throws in terms of going back. He can also employ different man-to-man defense, pressure up court.
And stop the back and forth trends of another team.
Right.
See if we can eavesdrop here.
Get a different sound for the 24-second clock that we got on this one. I don't want to use the same one. We're going to go with these clocks up there, that game clock, this corner. 24-second clock that we got on the stopwatch. The 10 and the 5 get across the year. He can have those fixed for us by the time we start the second half or maybe the second quarter.
We've done it before, and it's really
So Mike Mathis, the referee, explaining to the two coaches that without the clocks, they'll have to go with the game clocks at the ends of Chicago Stadium. The 24-second clock, the public address announcer will announce when there are 10 seconds left and with 5 seconds remaining. So it's almost like the good old days back at Lansing Eastern High School.
Well, what happens is this happened Friday, too, so this is nothing new. The referees will be able to say, okay, it's 10 seconds, or the announcer will say 10 seconds. Now they're going to their offense at that time where they know it's only 10 seconds to shoot the basketball.
Let's take a look at the playoff brackets. The western side, Portland off to a 2-0 start against the Lakers. Phoenix won, and a tough one against the Spurs. Should it go that way, that's how it would run its course in the next round. And Golden State and Seattle tied. The Eastern Conference, that's how things match up. Cleveland and Boston apparently headed to meet each other in the next round, although Jersey and Indiana will go home to try to force it to 5. And stay tuned. Coming up next, it'll be the Pistons and Knicks in our playoff doubleheader.
Right up, Bill.
So a slow first quarter for the Heat with 3.5 minutes left in this period. They trail by 12 and turn it over. Foul is Jordan. He is stopped as he goes up the lane to set things up.
Once again, Chicago's defense is causing Miami Heat all kind of problems. They get another steal, and it resulted in a foul. Now they're saying that they're going to take it out on the side, so no shooting foul.
Bimbo Coles has replaced Brian Shaw. Coles from Virginia Tech, 88 U.S. Olympian. Foul was on Cycli to stop Jordan on the last play. Cycli's first. He was disqualified Friday night on 6. Jordan has got too much size for Coles. Paxson. Rebound Cartwright. Boy, look at that. Pippen fly in. He scores and he is fouled.
How many times have Bill Cartwright made passes for baskets? That must be about 4 or 5 assists for him. It's a shot here by Paxton. Cartwright gets the offensive board. He looks inside. Here comes the flying Pippen in for 2 points.
He'll have a chance at a three-point play. He's already equaled Miami's total. 12 for Pippen, 12 for the Heat, as Chicago has exploded to a 26-12 lead. Let's go back to Michael Jordan. We had an opportunity to talk with him before the game. and he understood that things would get more physical for him.
It was a little different, you know. I'm so accustomed to the Pistons and the New Yorks that when you go inside, you go to the hole, you can get knocked down. You know, I think with the inexperience of Miami, they don't know how to play that type of basketball yet, which is good because it was a good, clean, and entertaining game. But I think as Lockery starts to see and instill more of his knowledge of being in the playoffs, they're going to get a little bit more physical. I don't know if it's going to be this game. I think more when they get back on their turf, it's going to become more of a physical game.
That's probably true. Yes, but he found out early it's going to be physical today.
Yeah, Grant Long sent out a little message, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Jordan, quiet 8 in this opening quarter after his 46 of Friday night. And you can well appreciate how the star of the team, the guy running the show as you did, there are times when you have to score. There are times where it's more important that you set the table for your teammates.
What Michael Jordan is doing right now is the best for the Chicago Bull team. Getting everybody else involved, making sure that, hey, they're happy, their game is getting off, and that way he can rest and just sit back. He knows when he can take over game, when he has to, and when he just has to sit back like he's doing right now.
Meanwhile, his all-star teammate, Scottie Pippen, has been perfect in this opening quarter, shooting perfect. Pippen 5 for 5 from the floor, 2 for 2 from the line.
You know, so much we talk about Pippen, Grant, and Jordan, but Bill Cartwright has been the man in this first quarter. We sometimes overlook passers, and I can't overlook Bill. He's making great passes inside to lead to easy basket.
So Pippen has outscored Miami 13-12, and Chicago's lead 27-12. P.J. Armstrong comes in for Chicago. Rice runs right into the Bulls, and here's Pippen to Grant, and a foul, no basket. No basket. Coles fouls Pippen before the pass.
First penalty.
Well, here comes again. Glenn Rice tries to take it between two players, and I think it was Horace who knocked it away from Horace Grant, got it up court to Scottie Pippen, and there was the foul right there, Bimbo Coles. He did the right thing. That was a good foul by Bimbo Coles, because if he didn't foul him, it was going to result in a dunk for Horace Grant. But so much of Chicago offense come off their defense, and they're doing it really good today. They're really playing excellent defense right here.
They have 6 steals, Magic, to Miami's none in this first quarter.
But defense will win you championships, not offense. And that's why they're the champs.
Smith turns down the three-pointer, tried to hit Coles, and it's knocked away by Chicago. The defense turns it over. Shot clock is now working and is official. 13 on the shot clock as Pippen holds, rebounds. Bimbo off to Long, and Grant Long makes it 28-14, his 6th point.
Well, that time Miami took his time and really ran the court well. Got Grant Long an easy jumper by everybody filling the lanes.
Horace Grant a little fall away, and rebound Cartwright. Doing a lot of big little things is Bill Cartwright. Steve Smith for 3. Smith, who averaged 25 a game for the Spartans as a senior, and Lockery said, I said, uh-oh, I've got to selfish team anyway. Here comes Smith, wonder what I'm going to get. He said, oh, what a delight. Smith is so unselfish. He loves to pass. Kind of a tradition there at Michigan State, I guess.
There's a tradition with big guards. Judd Heathcote does an excellent job of coaching there.
Rice with a rebound, and here's Smith. Rice likes the 3, but bobbles the ball. Cycling, and Cartwright. It's Cartwright who gets the foul.
Well, I don't know about that one. Cycling initiated the contact that time. Well, here it is right here. Cycling first knocks his hands off, then bumps into him, hits him with that shoulder, and takes a shot.
Here comes Will Perdue. He's going to replace Cartwright. Phil Jackson knows that Cartwright has his fire on a boil, and he wants to sit him down.
Yes, because what happens when you're upset, sometimes you just go out and do things that you wouldn't normally do in terms of make fouls or make dumb plays, and that was a good move by Coach Jackson then.
Perdue commits the foul. That'll send Cycli to the line.
Cycli right here is battling with Will Perdue. He goes straight up. That was a good move by Cycli. Initiate the contact, take it straight up, and he go to the foul line as a result of that. The fans are unhappy because Cycli is initiating a lot of contact, and they think that it should be a foul on him, an offensive foul, instead of a foul on Will Perdue or the one just recently on Bill Cartwright.
That's Keith Askins, number 2. He has replaced Glenn Rice. Kevin Edwards is also in for Miami. Perdue rebounds. Here come the Bulls, leading by 10.
Oh, man. Did he put a move on him that time? Scottie Pippen really put a move on. I think that was Long. It was a beautiful move.
Long from outside has the answer. 30-20 Chicago, and Long leads the Heat with 8. Boy, does Pippen have a great first step, though, huh?
Oh, man.
Pippen with 16 in this first quarter to lead Chicago.
It's not only a great first step, but it's a long first step, so you can't recover.
B.J. Armstrong, former Iowa Hawkeye, has his first basket. Jimbo Coles with a tough shot. Pippen's rebound, and he takes it out on the dribble. No basket, no basket. He didn't quite beat the quarter clock, but what a pass by Pippen. What a quarter by Scottie Pippen. And the world champions lead the Miami Heat 32-20 on a 16-point explosion by their all-star Olympian Scottie Pippen. Okay, Magic, you guard Scottie Pippen.
Well, on this play, I don't think I can. Here he comes down on Atkins, and he gave him the shoulder, head, everything, like he was going baseline, went back to the middle and slam dunk, said, in your face, Cycli, and in your face, Atkins.
They start the second quarter. Michael Jordan, B.J. Armstrong in the backcourt. Will Perdue for Cartwright in the middle. And here's Pippen, the star thus far, along with Horace Grant on the front line. And he is feeling his worth. Jordan into rebound, couldn't hold on, and the Heat break out. Kevin Edwards, who played here in Chicago at DePaul University. Long way over the mark, and Jordan the other way. Will Perdue from Jordan. Perdue had 16 on Friday night to match his all-time high here with the Bulls, and also 10 rebounds.
Michael is passing that basketball beautifully today. He is really looking for his teammates, and they're getting open and delivering once he gets them the ball.
Cycli over Perdue, and the foul on Perdue of Chicago, and the fans don't like it.
Chicago personal foul.
Here comes Michael, and he comes around, he jumps in the air and says, oh, there's Will. And Will takes it and slams it and says, thank you, Michael.
Will Perdue? Yes.
Yes, of course. We talked with Will yesterday, and he was like saying, look, I'm so happy that now they're looking for me, where they, before in offense, they never used to look for him, and now he's getting the ball, and also he's delivering. He's worked on his game and really improved every year.
Cycli hits 1 out of 2, and the Bulls lead is 13 with 11 minutes to go in the first half. Don't forget Pat Riley, your former boss, New York Knicks head man, will be the guest at halftime. Jordan, he has 10.
I think Miami's going to have to come out of this trap because the Chicago Bulls are attacking it. And that's the reason Michael had the jump shot there, because they're trying to trap.
It's a nice move by Cycli, who grew up in his native Lebanon, and at age 10, his family, when the war broke out, moving to Greece. He played high school ball in Athens, Greece. Away from the ball, a hold on Bimbo Coles. No, make it Edwards. Kevin Edwards gets the penalty.
Well, here's Cycli, and what he does is he's been coming to the middle for the last 3 times. This time he faked to the middle, drop step, went baseline, and got the finger roll to go in for him.
Pippen, and the foul, Cycli, his second.
Miami personal foul for Ronnie Cycli.
Was there any indication that Scottie Pippen, as a rookie, would develop into he's become a star-level player?
Well, I don't think people
Scottie Pippen shoots 2.
Ever imagined that he would become this good. He had talent, but I think that, where he really got better is playing in those series where Detroit beat them. He realized that before then he was a soft player. And he realized he had to get more aggressive. He had to take the pounding and the beating that Detroit was giving him and then come back with still a strong game. And he's done that. He said, okay, last year he said, okay, I don't care what Detroit does to me. I don't care what they do. I'm going to take it and come back and still play my game. And that's where he excelled. That's when he took off his game.
B.J. Armstrong with the body, his first foul.
B.J. Armstrong, his first. The team's
Cliff Livingston, number 53 in white for Chicago, makes his first appearance. So Jordan and Pippen, the only starters out there for the Bulls. Away from the ball.
illegal defense. Chicago.
Illegal defense, Chicago.
First violation is a warning. Reset to 24-7.
Jackson in his third year. Coach of the Albany Patroons, who won the CBA, and he said that was a very important experience for me to win a championship at any level. Livingston off the glass for his first two, and the Bulls by 17.
It's funny when a man like Michael Jordan can come and still dominate a game by passing. And that time he set up.
Pippen, another steal, doing it all. Oh, Pippen and Jordan couldn't connect. Well, that's something to put in the yearbook. You won't see many of those.
Even though both players missed it, you still got to love the effort.
Haskins' first shot off the mark. 7 rebounds for Jordan. Purdue. And the foul on Keith Haskins, his first.
Again, here comes that Chicago defense. Pippen reaches in on Edwards, steal it from him. Now he has a 2-on, well, it's a 2-on-2. He decides, I'm going to take it all the way, glides in. Oh, it comes out. Michael with the tip. Oh, man.
Try oh my.
Yes, oh my.
We'll be right back. Scottie Pippen, 18 points, 3 steals, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. And Michael Jordan on Pippen. In some ways, it's like looking in a mirror. He doesn't want to play at one end of the floor either, and you don't find that every day at this level. And you know, when your star talks about defense and admires it, boy, coaches have to love that.
Well, you have to love it because here it is that Michael Jordan is saying that about Scottie Pippen. And both of them understand and know that defense wins games, wins championships. And that's where it starts. And that's what these Bulls are all about defense.
Purdue gets 1 out of 2. Rebound Glenn Rice, who's back in. Stacey King is in for the first time for Chicago, and Bobby Hansen as well. So Phil Jackson, as he did on Friday night, going deep into his bench. He used 11 players. Purdue intercepts to Pippen. Pippen's such a great story. The fact that he wasn't even recruited to play college ball, went to college on a football scholarship as a manager. Knocked away, and look at the hands of Pippen.
He went up that time, Dick. Was going to shoot it with his right hand. Switched to the left. 2 points.
And a turnover. Pippen with 20 points to lead all scorers.
Right here, he goes up. He got knocked out of his hand. He recovers the basketball. He comes up, switch to the left. Oh, yes. Man, I tell you, what a story. You're right. He is playing a game today.
He developed at Central Arkansas, became an outstanding player his senior year, and then a top draft pick, and now an all-star and an Olympian. And an NBA champion. Edwards, Kevin Edwards. Cleveland, Ohio. Timbo Coles. And Coles has his first points.
If Miami is going to stay in this game or get back into this game, they have to do more of that, where they can come down. They don't necessarily have to shoot quick shots like they've been doing. Take their time, set up something, whether it's a play or a pick and roll or something where they can get easy shots.
Little two-man game between Will Perdue and Bobby Hansen.
Two guys who probably know each other well, sitting on the bench and probably working together in the practice session, and they probably say, okay, let's run this pick and roll play together. And Bobby made a good pass to Will, and he dunked it.
Left alone, Askins cannot connect. Cycli on a putback. Ronnie Cycli has 9. That leads the Heat.
Well, he's quietly in his own way. That is, Ronnie Cycli is playing a pretty good game. Now you got to get other players involved now.
Good defense by the Heat. Askins takes it away. Rice lost control. B.J. Armstrong. Armstrong makes Miami pay for it. Rice, who does not have big hands, he's got so many great qualities, but sometimes small hands betray him. Edwards on the drive draws the foul. Timeout, 6:30 left in the opening half.
6.5 minutes left in the first half, and a 20-point lead for the Chicago Bulls over the Miami Heat. Welcome back to Chicago Stadium once again. I'm Joel Myers, and we were talking earlier about the problems with the big toe on the right foot for Glenn Rice. Well, he's also wearing this ankle support. It's been a banged-up group for the Miami Heat this year. Not only Glenn Rice working with this contraption, but also Alec Kessler and a couple of others like Ronnie Cycli. So a lot of help. New technology, Magic Johnson, something you didn't see all that often when you were a Michigan State Spartan.
Well, nowadays players need more equipment. Let's take a look at Glenn Rice. He got something here on his finger, here on his knee, here on his ankle, and this ankle, and a knee brace. Man, that's 5 different equipment that he needs to play. He looked like one of those guys in the American Gladiators, doesn't he?
Well, his buddy Andre Rison with the Atlanta Falcons probably wears almost that much. Some of it is emotional Band-Aids. He said it just feels comfortable. I've been wearing it so much. It's not because I'm hurt. It just it's been the way I've been attired for so long. I don't feel comfortable without it.
Well, if it makes you play better, wear it.
Robo Rice. 47-29 Chicago. Biggest lead, 20 points for the Bulls. Michael Jordan back in. And a push-off. Scott Williams also in for the first time as Scottie Pippen is given a breather. Steve Smith returns for Miami. Smith, who was really starting to cook as a rookie player and then had a knee injury, and that was followed by the death of his mother. And Kevin Lockery said the game Friday night's the best game he's played since January.
The young man's had a lot to deal with in a short period of time, but he's really come and rebounded back from both situations.
Jordan over Askins. He has a dozen.
Well, like the Chicago Bulls like to do, when Pippen's on the bench, Jordan is in. When Jordan's on the bench, Pippen is in. So Michael Jordan is the man now. They're looking for him to supply the offense now.
Rice back out to long. As you said, Magic, you can't beat the Bulls with jump shots.
No, you can't, because they're going to run and get an easy basket off their transition game if you shoot jump shots on them.
Jordan with Askins. Second-year man from Alabama, Askins. Michael. Rebound Livingston.
Boy, they can beat you in so many different ways and so many different people.
Hansen and a whistle against the Bulls.
Offensive foul, Chicago.
Steve Smith. Great pick, the 5th player selected in last year's draft. His mother died of cancer in early February, Mother Bell. He wears her memory with him every time he plays, dedicating his efforts. That really was a tough one emotionally for him to overcome.
Yes, just like anybody, lose your mom, especially when things are just starting to go, you reach your dream and goal. Good jumper by Glenn Rice. I mean, you make it to the NBA, you want your mom and your dad, everybody to share it with you, and unfortunate that she passed away. But before she passed away, she could be proud of her son making it to the NBA.
Hansen to Livingston. And that'll be called a jump ball. Scott Williams and Grant Long. Williams, former North Carolina Tar Heel.
Right there, that both players were being aggressive, going after the ball, and they just fall to the ground. Right now, with 4:40 to go, Miami Heat must try to get this game down to about 10 points to try to go into the locker room, feel a lot better about themselves if the game is at 10 points. But if they're up 18 or 20, it's going to be difficult for them to come back in the second half going forward.
Another assist for Michael Jordan. Cliff Livingston has 4.
There goes that man again, Michael Jordan, on an excellent pass to Cliff Livingston, and for the easy 2.
4 assists now for Michael. Brian Shaw unable to connect. Here come the Bulls. Livingston, 2 in a row. He'd like to play more, but this team is so good, he's getting just spot duty.
Well, if I was him, I would be happy with the time that I'm getting, because I know that I might be in line for another championship ring. So he shouldn't worry about that playing time.
3:46 remaining in the opening half. Timeout, Miami. One during the intermission. The crowd recognizing Magic Johnson's presence. And you're getting used to that sort of thing, aren't you?
Well, it's nice. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank all the fans. Thank you.
Glenn Rice, who likes to shoot from long range, has his 8th point.
Glenn is going to have to become more and more aggressive here to get the Miami Heat back into the game.
Pippen is back in, and there's Jordan drawing the foul. Glenn Rice, second in the NBA in making three-point shots and leading all those teams, including Chicago, as a team hitting three-pointers. Vernon Maxwell of Houston led the league, and Rice was second with a 155.
Well, I tell you, Glenn has really developed into an excellent shooter. He's really, every year it seems like he's gotten better and better. And he wants to improve. He wants to get better. As he was telling us yesterday, he feels he needs to work on putting the ball on the floor to be a much complete player.
Look at that. Jordan gets his own rebound and draws another foul. So quick.
Dick, let me tell you, this is why, the reason why that you always have to pay attention to Michael Jordan. He shoots, he sees the ball's coming off, he comes right back, double clutches, and goes in for the layup. I tell you, fans, whenever the Bulls are on TV, this is why you always gotta tune in, because you never know what you might miss. I don't care who they're playing. You never know what you might miss, because he might do one of the greatest plays ever in that particular game.
He's still in the laboratory. He's still working on creating new material.
Yes, every day.
Three-point play created out of his own hustle. Almost another turnover. Cycling off the side of the board, and a ricochet right through his own hands.
Well, I don't like this. in terms of the Miami offense against the trap, because you got two big men trying to handle the basketball. One almost turned it over in Grant Long the first time, then he threw it just slightly, and he did turn it over.
Horace Grant working inside. He has 8. This is just an early Showtime edition now for Chicago in the first half. He played them tough for a half on Friday night. It was only 7 points at the intermission.
Well, the Chicago players were not pleased with their effort and their play.
Grant with a rejection. Cycli draws the foul.
Coming back to that, the Bulls players were not happy with their play on Friday, and I think they're just making a statement not only to the Miami Heat, but to everybody out there in the league that, hey, they're ready to play.
Foul was on Michael Jordan, his second. Cycli at the line.
You know, they probably got tired of watching Portland run up and down on the Lakers and dunk all day, and they wanted to show the world that they can do the same thing.
Well, they lost only 2 the entire playoffs last year. A 2-point defeat to Philadelphia, 2-point loss to the Lakers to open the NBA Finals. What was the turning point there, Magic? Part of it I know was Worthy not being 100%.
Well, we needed James Worthy's 25, 26 points if we were going to be able to really compete with the Chicago Bulls. And without him, that made an easy series for the Chicago Bulls in terms of beating us 4-1. Especially with their defense. You must have low post players that can deliver down low if you're going to beat the Bulls.
Well, you saw Jordan's great hands there with a one-handed catch. Grant loses it to Askins. Rice for 3, partially deflected by Pippen and out of bounds to Miami. What team physically, in terms of the makeup of their team in the playoffs, would be the toughest match for the Bulls?
Well, on the East, it would have to probably be Boston or Cleveland. And then overall, it's going to probably be Portland.
Rice for 3. Rebound Scott Williams.
Those are the 2 teams I'm picking for the finals, Portland and Chicago.
No basket. Even should it have gone in. Foul against Brian Shaw, his 3rd. And the penalty goes to Michael Jordan. Now Jordan, who led the league again with his 30.1 average. And just quietly here in this game, he's on a 30-point pace, and yet the other players have been the stars. He's set up the teammates, but he's making hay at the line. He's now 5 for 7 from the stripe and looks for his 17th point.
With no question, he's going to win the MVP again this season. He had a great season, and looks like he's off to a good playoff second season right now here.
Biggest lead for the Bulls, 25.
We all like to refer to the playoffs as the second season. Cycli with the turnaround air ball.
Grant to Paxson. It's Paxson's turn. One of the men that ate up the Lakers last year in the finals.
Well, Paxson is an excellent jump shooter, especially when he's wide open. And Michael always seems to know where Paxson is, no matter where he is on the floor. Good pass by Steve Smith to the cutting Askins.
And the foul on Chicago. 42, Scott Williams. Scott Williams, second.
Penalty. You know, if I was John, I would say, you know, Michael, I just move wherever you want me to move. I'll be right there, and you'll see me waving my arm. I get my feet set, and I'm ready for the ball. You know, because so much of the time, Michael Jordan is double teaming. John knows the right spot to be on the floor, and no matter where he is, Michael always hits him for that open jump shot.
Askins misses both free throws, but gets his own rebound, and Cycli delivers.
Power dunk that time by Ronnie.
He has 14 to lead the Heat. Jordan lays it in. No basket, and Jordan can't believe it. Foul on Jordan is third.
We're going to take a look at it. He throws it up. Well, we can't really see the foul because...
Maybe from another angle.
Oh, man, I don't know. All he did was throw his hands off of him and went back door.
Cycli. Little finger roll, and Ronnie Cycli getting some business done inside.
Yes, he is. You know, if I'm a fan, I'm upset because they took that play away, because I wanted to see Michael dunk it as much as the fans did. But the referee took it away because he said he threw the man off of him.
Cycli over the back gets the foul, his third. See if that forces Lockery to make a change with just seconds remaining in the half. And Kevin, born in the Bronx, not in Brooklyn. He said the media guide is wrong. I want people to know I grew up 10 blocks from Yankee Stadium. I was a Brooklyn Dodger fan. That accounts for my toughness. I had to defend myself in that area.
Well, he's done a marvelous job with these young guys. And
Sixers, the Nets, Hawks, Bulls, Bullets. He had Dr. J, he had Dominique, he had Michael as youngsters. Boy. Williams has his first points.
He also said
Bernard King, I think he is.
Yes.
Askins to Cycli. Ronnie Cycli with 18 points, almost half the Miami total.
He's really playing. He's really hustling too. You know, when he talked to us yesterday, he was explaining that the ball going to have to come more to him down low in the post, and with it coming down there to him, he's really delivering too.
Pippen with 4, Paxson with 2, Williams not there. Edwards rebounds, and that's the end of a first half where the Bulls again were on the rampage. The defending champions, 64-41, led by Scottie Pippen with 20. We'll be joining Bob Costas and Quinn Buckner right after this.
Bulls 64 and the Heat 41. Bob Costas back along with Quinn Buckner, and it becomes apparent that Miami, the best, quite possibly, of the 4 new expansion teams, still not up to the task of even making it competitive for very long against the Bulls. So what's at stake here for Chicago?
I think what's at stake is the Bulls, and Michael Jordan said at the top of the show, they're trying to show everybody that they want to be, quote, intimidators. They want everyone to come a little bit on their heels to play them, and so they'll try to blow this open as wide as they can. They got Scottie Pippen off to a good half this time at 20 points, and I think that's important. But the intimidation, letting you know, when we come to play, guys, we mean business.
They're thinking about their place in history, too. They're favored to win a second consecutive title. Last year they go through the playoffs, as Dick Enberg pointed out, 15-2. Those 2 defeats, both at the buzzer for all intents and purposes. This year they'd like to not just win it, but win it impressively. During the regular season, they were 10 games better with 67 wins than the next best team, Portland, with 57. That's the biggest margin between a first and second best team in more than 20 years.
Yeah, and having gone through that in Boston where you win one, that second one is harder to get. So to be able to do it and do it decisively puts them in as a permanent fixture in history, and I don't think there's any question that's what they want to try to establish this year.
Okay, coming up next, we'll bring you our conversation with Knicks coach Pat Riley. That's after this message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. Second game of our doubleheader today is Game 2 between the Knicks and the Pistons. Knicks fans approach Friday's opener against Detroit with a combination of anticipation and dread. A season which, in the overview, exceeded expectations, was ending with an embarrassing fizzle. His usually calm exterior aside, Pat Riley cares about his coaching challenges too much to be personally unaffected by its ups and downs. Game 1 against Detroit was a peak. For one night at least, the Knicks replaced question marks with exclamation points, winning by 34. The next day, the coach dropped by his old home base of a year ago, NBC. Here's how it went. Friday as good as your team can play?
We played very, very well in spots, and there were a lot of breakdowns during the course of that game. I think the game was an aberration. I don't think there's any doubt. Once we got a roll going, we had, 4 3-point plays consecutively that cracked the game open for us, and then it just went the other way. I don't think you're going to see that again in this series.
You've got a really interesting situation in that here's a team that wins better than 50 games, ties for the Atlantic title, is one up in a playoff series against a well-regarded veteran team, and yet people are looking for something of a shakeup in the off-season. How difficult is it to deal with the players who are the focus of that kind of speculation? Guys who have to make a key contribution now, but might not be here next opening day.
That's the ultimate contradiction of this whole game. And I think therein lies the secret to any team's success, is the players' voluntary cooperation, regardless of what their personal dilemma may be contractually or loyalty or whatever it is. If you're an athlete and you're part of a basketball team or any organization, and you have to remove yourself and you have to remove all those personal things that will get in the way, and if trust and loyalty is part of winning and you want to win, then you'll do whatever it takes to win. And if there's the fear that, well, they're not giving me my due or paying me my money or signing me to a contract and I'm an unrestricted free agent, why should I buy all this stuff? Then you're really not a professional. And I think that's one thing that our guys have been this year. I mean, Xavier McDaniel, Gerald Wilkins, Kiki Vandeweghe, James Donaldson, they're all unrestricted free agents, but every one of them have been very professional when it came to that. They all want to win. They all care about winning. And I hope that this summer things can be worked out for them.
You told me once that during your tenure with the Lakers, the biggest coaching mistake you made was in the '84 finals against the Celtics. There was a specific game situation where a timeout was called that shouldn't have been called. What's the biggest mistake, either tactically or psychologically, that you made this year? With all the success, what's the biggest mistake?
Man, I will open up myself to huge, huge. I don't need it across the New York Post, but there have been a lot of times this year that I feel like I could have made better decisions. I have been indecisive at times in staying with a certain group of guys, and we have built an 8.5-man rotation, and I think over the course of the season, I felt that whatever combination was playing well in the fourth quarter, then that's who I was going to finish the game with, and I think there have been some times that I may have made a mistake there.
How fast were the butterflies fluttering around in your stomach before Friday night's game?
That's great. I love this time of year. I mean, I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock, eyes just open up, and there's no more time to sleep, and you have this hole in your gut, and it feels empty, but you feel sort of ready.
People might wonder, if you talk about the misery of it, as we said before, or not being able to sleep in the middle of the season when the team was in a tough stretch, they can understand being driven by it, almost having to do it. But they wonder, can you really enjoy doing it if those are the circumstances?
I've always said that if you want to have fun in the NBA, then go play at the YMCA, because it's not fun. The only kind of fun you should have should come from the team developing as a winner and people sharing in that chemistry. And it's a very private type of self-satisfaction. It isn't something that should be, totally enjoyed all the time. The only time I feel like you should enjoy it is at the end of the season when you have done something, special. And there are all different levels of what special is. It could be an Atlantic Division title, it could be second round of the playoffs, it could be a world championship. I think there's a level of total satisfaction somewhere during the season, but this is not totally a fun job because of the demands it puts on you.
They were obviously extraordinarily well prepared, and getting that stretch of 4 days or so in South Carolina to kind of cleanse themselves, purge whatever had happened during the latter stage of the season was helpful.
I thought it was just critical. As I watched the game that they played on Friday, you could see this team was well prepared. They were focused. Everybody was in sync, and I think Pat Riley, who, despite what people may think, is a very meticulous coach, took the time to get these guys back focused. And it is so important at playoff time that you're all together, and you could see that in that game.
Here's something very interesting. Not a criticism of Chuck Daly, because there's no way to anticipate how this would turn out. But at the time that the Pistons unveiled that strategy against the Knicks and beat them twice in a week and shut down Patrick Ewing, held them to around 30% shooting combined in the 2 games, they weren't in the Knicks bracket. They thought they were going to play the Celtics in the first round, and then if they won, they'd go on to play Chicago. So they didn't realize they were showing Riley in less important games what they'd have to do against them in the playoffs. Now Riley has a week to prepare for just that, and they win the first game.
And I'll tell you what they did. They took Patrick, and all of a sudden, he caught the ball a lot in those games you're talking about on the block. In the game Friday, he caught it facing the basket. Now, when he does that, he can see where the double teams are coming from, and he was better able to find the open players. That's why New York played better on Friday.
So inadvertently, it worked against the Pistons, didn't it? Their misfortune that they showed it to them in those 2 regular season games.
And it worked because Pat Riley was smart enough to pick it up and make the adjustment down in Charleston.
Okay, we'll return with second half action. The Bulls over the Heat by 23 at this point, right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the companies of the Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid: the Prudential.
Well, Miami with the worst record in the regular season of the 16 playoff teams, earning the opportunity to play the world champions, and the Bulls playing even better in Game 2 than they did in Game 1. Back to Pat Riley. I thought one of the interesting comments he made was that it's a private kind of self-satisfaction out of winning that a man enjoys. He really wasn't the kind of a hands-on, close, touch-me type coach with the players with the Lakers, was he?
No. What he tried to create was a family atmosphere, but let each individual player have his space and have his time. But what he did with the New York Knicks and taking them down to South Carolina was a good move. They were down on themselves. They had lost, 5 out of 6 or something like that. And what he did, he had a chance to bring them back together as a unit and say, look, we're prepared now. Let's just go out and beat Detroit.
Yep, he's a master psychologist. There's no shortening credit there. Let's go now to our Miller Genuine Draft halftime statistics, and Scottie Pippen with 20, 16 of those in the first quarter to lead the Bulls, who shot 59%. The Heat, who shot around 46 on the season, were 43% in the half, and Jordan led all players in rebounds with 8 as he goes for a possible triple-double as Chicago out-rebounded Miami 25-16. And a reminder, later in the game, we'll be presenting the Miller Genuine Draft Genuine Memories feature. Second half coming up. Dick Johnson and Joel Myers, Dick Enberg, welcome back to Chicago Stadium. The leading scorers, Ronnie Cycli having a big first half with 18, Pippen with 20, and Jordan with 17 to lead Chicago. And it'll be Jordan, Paxson, Cartwright back in with Grant and Pippen, the starting 5. Inside to Bill Cartwright. And the 34-year-old veteran from the University of San Francisco has his first points.
Seems like they always open the game with Bill Cartwright, and always in the second half they open it in terms of running a play for Bill and scored that time.
Grant with a rebound. Brad Long, Brian Shaw, Glenn Rice, Steve Smith, Ronnie Cycli open the second half for Miami. Cartwright, gonna try another? No, it's to Jordan with 10. Jordan looking for Cartwright. Off the foot of Big Bill and out of bounds. Cartwright, father of 4. You ask him how's it going at home, he said loud.
Yes. Here it is right here. Throw it down low. He catches slightly on the baseline side, so he spins to the middle and gets the easy 2. Bill Cartwright on the turnaround jump shot.
Cartwright on the hold as he and Cycli in a bit of a battle. His second foul. He truly is a gray beard at 34. And among, I guess it pays to be a big man, tall, because longevity pays off. Get to last a little longer when you play down in the hole, apparently.
That's true. You get the rebound, outlet it, and say, you guys run down the court. I'm going to stay here and take a break, a breather.
I can just see Kareem now.
Exactly.
Cycli looking for 20, and Jordan has his 9th rebound.
Well, those 2 big men are really banging bodies. Look at them hitting each other really hard up and down the court. It's going to be a lot of 2 tired big men after this game.
Pippen against Rice, deflected, and Grant Long comes down with it. Fans wanted traveling. Steve Smith for 3. Won't fall. Jordan with his 10th. How many assists does he have, Ross Schneiderman? 6 assists. So he needs 4 of those, and he'll have a triple-double. Man next to me wrote the book in that category. Smith.
That was an excellent drive. He looked Michael off and took it all the way down for 2 points.
7 for Smith at 19 in game 1.
Steve Smith is really a big guard that can handle the ball and also pass over the defense.
Cycli clears the boards for Miami. Brian Shaw to Rice, who beats everyone down court. Glenn Rice. Well, that toe didn't bother him on that one, and Phil Jackson doesn't like what he sees and has called timeout. 22nd timeout.
Here it is. Steve Smith comes down the middle. He comes, look Michael off, looks the other way, comes back for the layup. 2 points. Shaw's looking all the way down court. He sees Glenn Rice, gets him the ball. Glenn Rice knows what to do with it, dunks it.
Bulls have decided to take a full timeout. We'll take a break. 9:25 left in the third. Welcome back to Chicago. Jordan has it knocked away by Long, and that was one of the turnovers that upset Coach Jackson. 5 possessions, 3 turnovers by the Bulls, and he called a quick timeout here in the third quarter.
Well, that's what happens when you get up 21, 23 points. You start to playing a little loose or a little lackadaisical, and then turnovers start happening.
Cycli, he wanted it, and he draws the foul from Cartwright, his third.
Chicago personal foul, 24.
Well, here it is. They run the pick and roll. Cycli sets the pick. He rolls to the basket. He beats Bill. Bill smacks him upside the head. They said that this was going to be a physical game, and both players, in terms of Cycli and Cartwright, will really anticipating it being physical, and it's definitely been that.
Yeah, they both talked about that. Of course, that comes with the territory, and as you pointed out, Cartwright, despite his age, he can still lay a lot of body on you, and you feel it after 4 quarters.
Yes, you go home, and the first thing you do is get into the hot tub.
66-47 as Ronnie Cycli has 20 points. Jordan at the other end.
He does that up and under move better than anybody in basketball. I guess it pays that you can hang that long, too, I guess.
Something that stays in the air that long ought to have wings.
Only thing I know is jets, airplanes.
Pippen. 22 for Scotty to lead the Bulls. His playoff high is 32, set in Game 5 against the Lakers in last year's playoffs.
He's established his game right from the beginning when he scored the first 2 points for the Chicago Bulls. You could see then he was going to be in the offense all day.
Glenn Rice intimidated by Pippen's defense, even though he had beaten Scotty. Oh, nice. Grant is fouled by Brian Shaw. That ball going down court without ever touching the floor.
That was the beauty of it. That was the beauty of it.
22, Brian Shaw.
Here John passes. He passes up to Michael. Michael sees Grant Long and Cycli as they say, oh, I'm going to split the 2 of you, go up under on the other side, kiss it off the glass for 2 points.
Lockery said it was Dr. J was the first player that really showed you can go up, stay up, and create a whole new game off the floor. And, of course, Michael Jordan has just perfected some of Dr. J's moves.
Yes, and the thing about both players is the fact that Coach Lockery also said that both players can palm the ball, and that makes it even that much more difficult because they can get up there and change their shot when guys go up to block it.
Big lead for the Bulls. 7:46 left in the third period. Smith over Jordan. Horace Grant with a rebound.
See, as you can see all day, the Miami Heat has not really gotten too many layups.
Scottie Pippen from outside at 24.
Chicago just keeps them outside shooting jump shots. and then they run off those jump shots. They get the rebound and run down court and score easy baskets.
Inside, Steve Smith. He's done that a couple of times with success.
Well, they show Cycli a lot of respect now. They double teamed him that time for the first time this afternoon, and he hit Steve Smith up under the basket for 2.
Michael has it slapped away. Watch him now. Whenever he turns it over, he just gets a little tougher defensively. Yeah, Brian Shaw with an opening connects. His first points.
The former Celtic cools up.
Yeah, he said something rather interesting. He said grew up at UCSB, was a big Laker fan, went to Santa Barbara, was hoping that the Lakers would draft him, and when Boston, he said, I've been hating Boston my whole life, and now I have to wear this uniform. He said, you can't believe how tough an adjustment that was.
Oh, boy. I tell you, it had to be for him, and then got traded in the Sherman Douglas trade. And it's worked out for both teams.
The Chicago Bulls are in the shooting gallery, and Jordan now with 21. It's the Knicks and the Pistons following this one. Rice, Smith, Rice. So Rice moves in about 8 feet and hits the jumper.
In this half, Miami is executing their offense a lot better. They're moving the ball around. They're not coming down shooting quick jump shots. That time they must have had 5 or 6 passes, and it ended up in an easy jump shot for Rice.
And the one question about Jordan coming out of North Carolina was, would he be a good to great perimeter shooter? They knew he had some of the other moves, although Lockery admitted that he didn't realize what he was getting until he saw him the second day of practice when they had him go one-on-one.
Well, normally that's what happens to all college players. You don't know what type of NBA player they're going to be. And Michael is not only great, but he's super great. And John Paxson on the jump shot. Here comes the Buzz.
Hitting from outside unerringly. Chicago builds its lead. He said one of the things about Michael Jordan you should know is he said, I've never seen an athlete with higher energy. I hadn't quite heard it put that way, that he just always plays hard, practices hard, plays hard.
Well, the great ones do. And he also said that Michael Jordan could play a double hitter.
Yeah, he has that kind of, he's the Ernie Banks of Chicago basketball. Jordan on Smith. Pretty tough defense when you're ahead by 26 points. He's hit 2 in a row, 3 in a row for Jordan. He's got his stroke, 23 for him.
Well, Horace Grant said an excellent pick. Michael came off. 20-footer, knocked it down.
7 straight field goals, many of them from outside for the Bulls. Cycli showing some good foot movement inside to free himself up for his 22nd point.
You know, Dick, Ronnie has really improved. He used to turn the ball over a number of times in his career, early in his career, but now he looks more confident, and he's really controlling the basketball, making better decisions. Well, poor decision that time.
Pippen with his 4th steal of the game, and then Rice broke up a certain 3-on-1 chance. Let's go back to how he maneuvers inside.
Well, they throw the ball down low to him. He fakes like he's going baseline, comes back, up and under. Nice move. I think he stole that from Kevin McHale. That's a nice move there. The up and under move.
Michael Jordan gets it back. Oh, what a pass to Pippen, and he is fouled. Brian Shaw.
Well, Brian Shaw was the man who told us that there would be no easy layups. There would be a lot of hard fouls, and he just applied the hard foul. There, Michael sees Pippen wide open. Brian said, well, I can't let you have the layup. I'm going to just put you on the ground.
And that puts Shaw on the bench with his 5th foul. Kevin Edwards replaces him. Shaw played in Rome, Italy in the Italian League for a year. He left the Celtics. Scottie Pippen with 25.
You can see that Chicago wants to send Miami a clear message that this is going to be a short series. We want to get this over with as quick as possible in terms of 3-0. But the Miami fans can really have a lot to look forward to in that game. I think it's, what, Tuesday or Wednesday? Whatever day it is next week.
Rice gets the three-pointer. Glenn Rice has had a quiet game now with 13.
Because Coach Lockery told us that the team don't really play well on the road in terms of especially big games, and
that's the youth. Paxson is fouled. Said that with a young team, that you get into, every game has the flows where you have momentum and then all of a sudden the other team scores 8, 10 in a row. So the young team, when that happens on the road and the crowd gets into it, it's like everyone's against me and they all shoulders sink. At home, you have that crowd boosting you. He said, but they're, you saw the smile. They're going to mature. This will be, no matter what happens in this series, a maturing process for this team that improved by 14 games, second best in the NBA. The Cavs, plus 24. Did they look good last night in beating Jersey?
Well, Cleveland is healthy this year. They're confident, and they want to just show people that they're for real, and they're trying to get to that next round. They're playing good basketball.
Grant Long, and he is fouled by Horace Grant.
Well, I don't think Horace wanted to commit that foul because Grant Long has not hit many long jumpers today, and I think he just like overcommitted himself and knocked Grant Long to the floor and sent him to the line for 2.
Grant Long, whose uncle John Long served in the NBA for some 13 seasons, was his inspiration early, and then Magic Johnson was his idol later, as this young man grew up in Romulus, Michigan, outside Detroit.
How many players on this team is from Michigan?
You know.
What's that? Willie Burton, Steve Smith, Glenn Rice. A lot of guys.
Grant Long, that's 4 from Michigan high school basketball that has gone down to Miami. Michael.
He smiled at Glenn Rice and told him that, well, young fella, I'm just going to take you to school, and I'm only going to hit a jumper. I'm not going to dunk on you. I'm just going to take this 20-footer.
At the other end, Kevin Edwards has his 4th point. Yeah, to be great, you have to be able to put it on the floor because you just earn the respect. You have to play off. That allows the jumper. Let's see, got up to hand Miami here. Jordan into that little dance.
Yes.
Pippen with the rebound and the block by Long. Rice for 3. And banging underneath, and it'll go against Long of Miami, his 4th.
Well, Michael right here sizes Glenn Rice up. He shoots the jumper. Then afterwards, he just looked at him and told him, hey, young fella, maybe next time.
That's just, there's no charge for that. No. Professor Jordan says, I'm not even going to charge you for that.
That's right.
Just the 2, and you'll learn.
I do this to everybody. That's what Michael told him. I do this to everybody in the league.
They didn't play any favorites. Everyone, get your medicine. Open your mouth. The spoon is full.
Yes. See, that's the only reason I dislike playing against him, because he hit the shot on you and then he tells you about it, but in a nice way.
He's into the jump shooting, isn't he, in this second half? Now at 29.
Well, he told Grant Long it's your turn this time. He's taking it.
Who's next?
Yeah, Steve Smith, it'll be your turn next.
You better get ready. Down to the final minute of the third period. An exercise in championship execution by the Chicago Bulls, both ends of the court. Purdue.
Break, it's Horace Grant hustling to earn the two. Pippen with the assist.
Is that beautiful basketball or what? Oh, man, that's two forwards.
You mean you like that pass break?
I loved it. I loved it. Excellent pass from Pippen to Grant. Grant finishes off with a monster dunk. You would never know, Dick, they were up 29 points.
No,
the way they're playing.
They're not easing up, are they?
No, they're not.
Smith gets the foul. Horace Grant gets his third and trying to stop Steve Smith.
Well, here it is. Will Perdue makes an excellent outlet pass to Pippen. He comes down, he sizes up the floor, sees Grant, gives it to him for the monster dunk. Unselfish basketball. Defense, offense, unselfish basketball. Where did that create championships?
10 points for Smith.
Well, what happened there was Grant was right. He had his position. Steve Smith jumped into him, and he had a good reason to complain in terms of Horace Grant, because Steve Smith created the contact.
11 for Smith, and the Bulls 6 seconds difference in the shot and game clocks. Purdue sets up Pippen.
Jordan inside, and he can't hit. And Cycli tipped it in. Jordan was there battling. He gets credit for the basket, and 31 for Jordan.
They should have gave it to him as high as he jumped that time. Man, was he up.
Final second. And Grant Long unable to connect.
Michael Jordan surging in the third period. 31 points for the great star of the Bulls.
Here it is with Pippen taking the jump shot. Watch Michael Jordan explode up high. Oh, man. And tried to come up on it. He just went a little too hard.
I take that back. Jordan did have his hand on it. It wasn't Cycli. Jordan battling to get his 31st.
And the world champions are announcing they are ready again this year. Built in 1929, Chicago Stadium, nearly 19,000 to cheer their beloved the Bulls. And here's Michael and Smith.
Yes.
What's this all about?
Well, Steve Smith trying to put his hand back and feel where Michael Jordan is. And Michael Jordan said, I'm right here. And so he tickled him to let him know I'm right here, right behind you.
Oh, the game inside the game as we go to the fourth quarter. The Bulls very much in command, outscoring Miami in every quarter. DJ Armstrong creating the play defensively. Pippen to Armstrong. Jordan bats it back out, saves it for Chicago. Michael. Durant, and it's Edwards, the loose ball for Miami. Evan Edwards, #1 pick in '88 of Miami, to Askins. He had 2 of those on Friday night. Keith Askins, his first points, a tray.
Now the fans are sitting there wondering, well, why, since the Bulls are up 27 or 26, are the starters still in there? The reason being is the fact that they want to send a message to Miami Heat to tell them, look, you cannot beat us, you cannot play with us, and they want to let them know that now, this afternoon, in terms of for next week's game. That's why they're in here. They want to make a statement to say, we're going to beat you in game 3-2 as well as in game 2.
But Magic, the other side of that, remember Larry Bird in '85 against you? He played 39 minutes a game and really was fatigued going into the end of that playoffs and into the finals. Now Pippen and Jordan have been averaging 39 minutes a game throughout the year. Here they are playing in a game where obviously Chicago has this won. Is there some risk in not having enough in the tank when you get down to the finals?
No, because one thing that the difference between Chicago and Boston that year was Chicago has more depth than the Boston Celtics had. Michael can take more breaks than Larry can take because of Scottie Pippen, because of the bench that Chicago has. So he'll be
breaks during actually while you're playing, taking a break, an offensive break.
Right, he could take an offensive break right now because of Miami Heat, who he's guarding.
Cycli continues to lead Miami. A big game for him, 24. Is high this year, 28.
Because Larry Bird was guarding James Worthy and he didn't get a break.
Good pass by Perdue, and Jordan misses with a left hand but draws the foul. Nice pass by Will Perdue, a guy that was booed by Chicago fans as a rookie.
Well, here it is. That triangle. Scott Perdue goes back door to Jordan. He sees Askins. He switched from the right to the left hand. Also gave him an elbow to say, look, young fella, you cannot block my shot. I like when Michael sends little messages to different guys. It's fun. I used to do that myself. You know, to let them know you can't block it.
Do it in a nice way with a smile.
Yes, yes. Oh, a gentleman about it, of course.
Pippen leaves with 27. And Michael now with 33 to lead all scorers. He'll be up above his average on the season again. 96-69 Chicago playing out this fourth quarter. Inside to Cycli. And a whistle before the shot. Horace Grant with his fourth foul. 9:59 to go in this one. The Pistons and Knicks standing by.
Draft presents Genuine Memories.
Today's Miller Genuine Draft Memory takes us back. Game 7, 1971 Eastern Finals. Baltimore Bullets defeat the Knicks 93-91. And yes, that's Kevin Lockery celebrating with Earl Monroe as the Bullets advance to the NBA Finals, a team that had Earl Monroe and Jack Marin, Gus Johnson along with Lockery. And they went on to lose in the finals to Milwaukee and Kareem Jabbar 4 straight. In recognition of this memory, Miller Genuine Draft donates $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Lockery, who coached the Bulls for 2 years, his second season was Michael Jordan's rookie year. He has fond memories, and Jordan does too, of the relationship. Jordan really credits Lockery for helping him get a fast start. Foul underneath, Cycli is hit by Will Perdue, 4 on Perdue.
He is playing hard. He has really got that pump fake move down, and then he steps up under you once he gets you up in the air. I'm impressed with Ronnie today. He's really, really taking control of this game, especially for the Heat, and asking for the basketball and then delivering once he gets it.
You know, he had friends as a high school kid in Athens, Greece. Now let's take a look at this first.
Here he goes. He pump fakes, gets Will Perdue up in the air, and then steps right up under him. He's really got that move down. I think he should pay Kevin McHale a couple of dollars for stealing that move from him.
He's got 26 now.
What Miami must do here, Dick, is the fact that they must now establish something for themselves where they can go home and feel good about. Try to maybe work on their offense. Say, okay, maybe this can work against Chicago, where they can build for something for next week.
The only starter for the Bulls still in the game is Horace Grant. Out of bounds to Chicago. So that Cycli actually came to the United States to visit friends in the New York, Syracuse area and went to a Jim Boeheim, Syracuse's head coach, summer camp. Boeheim saw him, signed him up. Craig Hodges, the man who won the long-range shooting contest in the NBA All-Star weekend.
Second year in a row? Three times. Wow.
Cycli, quick release, rebound Grant. Stolen by Rice. 15 scoring for Glenn Rice, averaged 23 on the season.
A play like that will make that toe feel a lot better when you can get out there and make a steal and then close it out with a slam dunk.
Two of your closest friends up next as Isaiah Thomas of the Detroit Pistons challenges Pat Riley and Patrick Ewing and the New York Knicks. Game 2 after the Pistons were really whomped in Game 1.
Well, you can believe this. Detroit will be back. They're going to make a strong statement today in terms of the way they probably come out and play.
That game to follow this one. Armstrong short. Here comes Rice. Jimbo Coles. Kevin Edwards. Not a three. Right on the line for Edwards. 98-75 Chicago.
I like this by Miami. They're picking up all over the court. They're trying to trap this team and create some steals. Right there, they created a turnover. So this will be good for them when they go home. This is a good confidence builder for them. They can do they can work on a lot of things in this quarter.
I think you're right. When they return home for Game 3, that Miami crowd is really going to give them a salute. Tell them that what they accomplished this year, moving up 14 games over last season, making the playoffs, has not gone unnoticed.
That's right. I know that's going to be a hot ticket. Probably the hottest ticket since the Hurricanes won the football title.
Cycli down court. Another good spin move, but unsuccessful. Armstrong.
Oh, yeah. You have to love it, the big man behind the back. Oh, okay.
Keith Askins, who did not start as a senior at Alabama, a free agent selection by Miami, 6'8", has 5 points.
Showed some leaping ability on that play. Followed it up with an offensive rebound, a missed shot, and dunked it in.
Reserves getting their chance. Cycli clears for Miami. Rice. Jimbo Coles with a putback. And a foul. See that inside work by the reserves for Chicago.
BJ comes down, he hits Craig Hodges, he goes up, hits Will Perdue behind the back to Cliff Livingston, and the monster done.
Play by play magic. World champions brazing here in Game 2. Grant Long for Miami with 10 points. Long, another of the many admirers of Magic Johnson.
He was a guy that you opened my locker in high school and junior high, and there were his pictures all the time. And my teammates started calling me Magic. And I didn't want to be called Magic because I just always felt that there was only one. I even grew this goatee here to try and emulate him. And it took me, I've been growing this since the 7th grade, and I've never, ever cut it.
You know, as he went on with a tribute to you, I thought he was going to start crying. And I looked over at you, and you were getting a little emotional, too.
Yeah, you know, when guys that you know, especially I know Grant, and when somebody can say that about you, it just touches your heart. And I was sitting there, and first of all, I didn't know that he admired me because he had never said that to me. And it was special. It's special because you know somebody and you feel close to them, and now I even feel closer to him. So I just, like to thank him for that.
He said, I'm not shaving off the goatee, even though Magic did. It took me too long to grow it.
Yeah. I might have to grow it back now.
I don't think, he's as sensitive as you are, Magic Johnson. I don't think that you have a full grasp of the power you have and how many people you have impacted and admire you in such a way that they'd be motivated by whatever you want them to do. And I hope in your new campaign that you use that in full force.
Well, I'm going to definitely go out and try to use that. We'll try to educate people about HIV and AIDS and about education as well, especially for young people.
Alec Kessler into the game, draws the foul. Joel Meyer has a report.
Dick, I just talked to the trainer of the Chicago Bulls, and B.J. Armstrong headed to the locker room for precautionary measures. He did get cut just above the left eyebrow. It may require 3 to 4 stitches, but he assured me it is nothing serious for B.J. Dick?
All right, Joel. Phil Jackson looks like he's about to swallow the canary there. He just he still wants his team to play hard, but he knows how good they are. You know, the press and fans start talking about 15-0. Is this team that good?
Well, that's unfair because that's not going to happen. And they shouldn't expect them to go 15-0 because, believe me, somebody's going to beat them on the way. But
Scottie Pippen back in there, hits the turnaround. 29 for Pippen, the 1-2 punch of the Bulls. Jordan and Pippen. 33 for Michael.
Well, here's King. He looks inside to Pippen. He goes right up with the one arm, like the jump hook one arm shot, and got it to go. He got pushed on the way up too.
Is it me, or is he getting better and better? Pippen, he still seems to have room to improve on his greatness.
He's getting better and better, and he's really going to be an outstanding player, especially when we go to the Olympics to play in those games.
Only 26 years old, Pippen. Bimbo Cole, speaking of the Olympics, an 88 Olympian, throws up a brick.
Now they're running Scottie at the point because not by position, Craig Hodges is really not a point guard. He's really an off guard or shooting guard.
Here's Stacey King against Alec Kessler, and King, who hasn't played much of late from Oklahoma, has his first points. Showed up late at the game Friday night and didn't play at all.
During the playoff, coaches want guys to really get to the gym early. They don't want you to be late. They don't want any problems about anything in terms of tardiness, lateness, whatever.
Livingston takes it away from the shorter Edwards, and he is fouled.
Then that offsets the team harmony, and you can only create that if everybody's on time.
Scottie Pippen goes out to a big hand. 30 points in the game.
You know, with B.J. being hurt, Coach Jackson didn't really know what to do, who to put back in. And he was forced to put Scottie Pippen back in for that short period of time.
Here comes Alan Ogg, the 7'2" second-year man from Alabama, Birmingham. The Ogg man in.
The Ogg man in, huh?
Better than being the Ogg man out.
That's right. You got that right.
108-82. Never a game. Ogg blocked by Stacey King, and the Sky King, as he was called at Oklahoma, gets the foul.
Stacey King, his first penalty.
Well, from 0-2 to win a best-of-5 series, you got to go back to the Fort Wayne Zollner Pistons against the St. Louis Hawks. Golden State did it in '87, and the Knicks 2 years ago from 0-2 down to beat Boston only 3 times.
Well, Dick, I got a question for you. I'm sure the Chicago fans want to know, who did the Bears select?
You know what? I happen to know that in today's football draft, they took Alonzo Spellman, the defensive end from Ohio State, Kevin Edwards. And Miami's 2 picks today. The 7th pick, Troy Vincent of Wisconsin, another Big Tenner, and took Michael Coleman, the linebacker of Georgia Tech, in the first round.
See, we care about you fans. We were up on who got drafted there.
Kessler with a rebound. Didn't realize you were such a big NFL fan. You know your stuff.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm a big Raider fan, and I'm out there every Sunday.
Kessler inside, rebound Williams. .331 to go. Foul.
This is a great time. You know, this is the reason why players work hard in practice, because you never know if you're going to get in the game. And right now, the reserves have been in for about 9 minutes, and the play really hasn't been bad. It hasn't been sloppy. So at least the coaches can feel good about that, because they worry about if the play gets sloppy. They always want the reserves to come in and play hard.
King gets 1 out of 2. It's 109-85. The last time it was close was at 8-all in the opening minutes. Bulls led at the intermission 64-41. Edwards takes it to the iron. Bobby Hansen blocked by Ogg. King scores. King with 5 points off the bench.
You know, the big man, Alan Ogg, moved pretty good that time. Get down there to block the layup attempt by Bobby Hansen, and then Stacey King was just there to follow it up, though.
Wasn't it you that pointed out what Ogg spelled backwards means? Go, right?
That's right.
Okay. 2:47. It's the Knicks and Pistons in game 2. Chicago. At NBC, they print the promotional thing. You're talking about next week's games or Sunday night entertainment on green sheets, so they call them green sheets. Well, the green sheet man now is going to be Magic Johnson. I walked by your room late last night. I heard you talk. You've been rehearsing that for a couple, 3 hours, right? Exactly. You're not going to even make a mistake. Not a stumble.
I hope not.
You got it.
Coming up next, all the thrills and excitement of the NBA playoffs continue on NBC. You will see a matchup of Eastern Conference rivals as Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons take on Patrick Ewing and the New York Knicks in Game 2 of their opening round series. That's next on NBC. I made a mistake.
One turnover, but you did it with such emphasis, I'm going to forget about it.
Thank you. First time turnover. Good move by, who is that? Was that King inside? Good move.
7 points for him. 2 minutes to go. Kessler unable to connect. You know, it's kind of like when you go to the movie and you have to sit through all the advertisements and all the other material before the feature begins. At this point, this is little drama left, but we should have a big one coming up next. The Knicks and Pistons. Phil Jackson able to muster a smile. Has had limited playoff opportunities, but has the best winning percentage of any coach in history. Riley second, Westhead, Daly. Billy Cunningham, one of the partners of the Miami Heat, has the 5th best record in playoff coaching.
Coach Jackson has done an excellent job. He really has his team prepared. You know, it was really interesting watching them practice yesterday. Coach Jackson really made the adjustments. Remember, he was working on the triangle offense yesterday, and it paid off today. So just minor adjustments. That's what happens in the playoff. You make those little adjustments that can maybe bring you 10 or 12 points in a game, and they worked on that, and it paid off today.
Well, and you talk about defense, constantly teaching defense, and that was his strength as a Nick off the bench. Basket interference, a teammate of Senator Bill Bradley and Dave DeBusschere. Great Knicks teams.
Well,
Brad Boltzmann, Willis Reed.
He realized that defense is what's going to win you championships and win you ball games. And he wants a guy first to play defense and second offense.
Haskins short on the three-pointer. And last touch by Chicago.
Well, that game in New York, boy, will that be a battle. You know that Detroit is going to come out and really be aggressive and really try to set the tone in the first quarter. So I can't wait to get back to the hotel and watch that game.
Alan Ogg connects his 3rd point as we approach the 1-minute mark. I didn't think it would ever count.
I know one thing that these guys' parents must be proud of them, all the guys out here. You know, Miami has never been on national TV in terms of network TV. And so their parents and family and friends getting a chance to see them play all over the country.
Time to duck in our thanks. Executive producer, turnover from me. NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill, coordinating producer of the NBA on NBC, and the producer of today's game, Tommy Roy. Today's game directed by John Gonzalez. NBA Showtime produced by Ricky Diamond, directed by Kelly Atkinson. Technical directors Mitch Geller, Rich Sansevier. Bobby Hansen scoring from Hodges. His first points. One of the popular reserves here in Chicago, Hansen. Thanks to Dick Ellis, Eddie Fivashoff, Ross Schneiderman for their support today.
If Miami is going to win the game or win game 3, what they're going to have to do, they had 12 turnovers the entire game in game 1. And in the first half alone in this game, they had 12. So they're going to have to cut down their turnovers, especially early in the game. And I think playing at home in Miami, they probably won't play. They'll probably hold the ball back, run their offense a lot better. They'll be ready. The crowd will be ready. And you can expect a tough game, I think, in game 3 in this series.
They had one. They almost beat Miami once, or beat the Bulls once this year, a 2-point game.
Right.
Reverend Livingston battling inside. It goes to Miami with 10.3 seconds left. Well, Scottie Pippen stole a ball in the first seconds of the game and slam dunk on his way to a 30-point game. 33 for Jordan. That's good for 3 for Bimbo Coles. And Chicago never threatened. Stacey King, it counts if it goes. It does. A three-pointer to underscore the Chicago Bulls' depth. Their brilliance led by Jordan, finished by King. We'll be back with more. The Chicago Bulls 120, Miami 90. The Bulls magic number is 13. We'll return to Chicago Stadium after this. Today, an off day for Michael Jordan, but he checked in nevertheless with don't have any defensive commentary here with 33 and 13 rebounds. Did he get the triple-double? How many assists? Just missed. Had 6 assists. Pippen chips in with 30, and the Eastern Conference looks this way as the Bulls now will be spectators watching Detroit and New York in game 2 of our doubleheader. You can be sure Michael Jordan will be one of those. We'll return, but first we break for these messages. Next on NBC Sports, the second half of our NBA playoff doubleheader. Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons against Patrick Ewing and the Knicks. The Knicks lead 1-0. This is Dick Enberg along with Magic Johnson and Joel Myers saying so long from famed Chicago Stadium, where Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen of the world champion Bulls made it look easy against Miami today. This has been a presentation of the NBA on NBC.